Okay, hi, this is Saad Allahwala again, and welcome to my second podcast. No, wait, episode 2 of my podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing about the population rising at a fast pace in Pakistan, in the world, basically. But we're going to focus on give examples from Pakistan, because that's where I'm from, and that's just where I've traveled in. Yes, okay. So, I'm just gonna be frank here. A lot of people are okay. So just as I'll just put this in. This is a disclaimer. Please don't judge me or attack me. These are my perspectives, and I know I'm wrong in most of them, and I can only improve when I just put myself out there. So please, if you have anything to suggest or tell me where I'm wrong, comment in this comment section below, or just email me in this email and I will get back to you definitely. Unless I reach 1 million players, and then this I can't reply to all those emails and stuff. Anyways, getting back to the point. So, population rising at a fast pace. Is it really that bad? Well, it isn't supposed to be. It is for some people because, well, if you look at it in the perspective of people not being able to afford how many children they have, in the sense that they can't afford the great lifestyle that they expect the children to have, their basic rights, and they can't afford those, then I think because our government isn't really supporting them as much. So in that perspective, I think that yes, it is kind of wrong having 8 children or 10 children when you can't really afford to have it. But looking at it from the business perspective and the investor's perspective, if you look at the past growing rate of Pakistan, it was 40 million in 1947 and it's 220 million today in 2019. Well, around 220 million, I don't know the exact number. And there's still 1 million Pakistanis outside Pakistan. Now, looking at the opportunities that we have in this country, the biggest opportunity is, I think, the population. Majority of the population of Pakistan is still in the rural areas. And while people still seek for opportunities in the mega cities like Lahore, Karachi, Islamabad, Peshawar, Quetta, they work in their rural areas like farms and towns as well. So what's the big obstacle here? Roads. Well, that's a factor that's been, I think, covered by the Chinese, because they're building roads all over Pakistan, because they're the major ones who are investing in this country currently. I think they're the biggest investors because they just invested to $67 billion in the last 6 years. I think that's the biggest investment in this past few years. If I'm not wrong, please correct me if I am. Now, if you start setting up businesses in these rural areas, like one of the ideas I have is I started a company for biogas. Now, what the biogas company is going to do is we're going to set up a biogas plant. It's going to provide gas. Now we're going to set up a smaller one, of course, at the start, and then we're going to always expand it. But when we have that gas plant, it's going to provide extra gas. Hopefully enough gas which is over capacity for the village, and then we can create electricity from the leftover gas. When we have that, we can evolve more business around it. So I have some ideas for other businesses, for recycling, for packaging. There's like a whole ton of things I have in mind, and I have been planning, and I have started implementation on them as well. If anyone's interested in sponsoring or investing, I'm here. Contact me on this email. So when you create, so what's the bigger picture in mind, which I have? When you create businesses around those villages, you're basically pitching into the market of not now, but for the next 10 to 15 years, for the time when I'm going to be a lot older, when I want to be stable and earning a stable amount of money. I can have businesses revolving around my own businesses. So I'll be creating my own electricity. I'll be creating jobs. I'll be creating developments in the areas. So the gas business isn't solely for creating profits for this company, but it is for developing those areas, not of course for the people living in those villages, but in the larger picture, of course, a human being looks for his own benefits as well at the same time. So it'll be sadqa jariya at the same time when I'm helping other people developing their roads, helping them have a trade route for better transportations. I'll provide transportations. A whole ton of businesses can revolve around it. But for me, those benefits apply to me too. So later on, when I want to do businesses, when I want to expand businesses there, it's going to be beneficial for me in the long term. That's the bigger picture. We should always have the bigger picture in mind. Like China has the bigger picture. I think most countries, let's just stick on the topic now. Okay, so population rising. Yes, so this is my way of fighting, because I'm not really fighting this issue, if you make it an issue, that is. But if you just want to get ahead of time and look at the bigger picture, look at what happened in the US. If you drive an hour from Houston, there'll be nothing on the middle, and you'll just reach into a new whole city with their own public transport system, their own everything, their own mayor, their own roads, their own McDonald's, basically a whole ecosystem around that specific city. When you have spread out industries, you can provide a whole different ecosystem for them. So I'm a person who gets really easily dragged off from the topic. So let's get back to the topic. The easiest way I think of working on this issue, working on this problem, what's the right word? Let's just not see the population rising as an obstacle. Let's see it as an opportunity. We should be investing in those villages. We should be looking at what resources are being wasted and recycling them, reusing them. So we work for this planet, and at the same time, we work for ourselves, and most of all, work for the people. And what else does this religion want other than working for the people and working for God's people? You'll be creating jobs, you'll be creating opportunities for more people to not waste. Just take banana leaf for an example. In one single village, they burn 40 tons of banana leaf and trunk. When I heard this, I was mind blown. That's just free money that they're wasting, but they're not really wasting it in their perspective. They're getting rid of it because they don't know what to do with it. Anyways, I got dragged off from the topic way too much. Let's just end this podcast with the note that the best way to make money, in my perspective, a 17-year-old's perspective, who you do not have to follow, but just consider for once. the best way to fight this obstacle or to fight any obstacle, you start a business around it. Thank you. My name is Saad Allahwala, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.